Hello everybody and welcome to the High Speed Racing Network. This is the Velocity Racing League 7th race of the season tonight here from the Sonoma Raceway. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm your host Hayes Booth, and unfortunately my broadcasting partner Jared Darling unfortunately is not feeling well, so he cannot make it tonight. So you're just going to have to be dealing with me tonight. 62 laps here from the Sonoma Raceway, so I will try to do my best by myself here tonight. About 25 seconds here to go in here in practice, and then we will go to 10 minutes of qualifying and then the 62 lap race here tonight. A long race here from the Sonoma Raceway, but it should be an interesting one at that. Right now Aaron Smith top of the charts here in practice with James Miller in second, and definitely going to be some guys to watch here tonight. Is guys like Aaron Smith, James Miller, Quentin Warman, Ashley Molyneux, Howie Briss. Guys like that definitely going to want to keep an eye out for. So we'll see what we can do. Hi everybody in chat. Hello Eric Warman, Marcus, how you doing? Thank you all so much for tuning in. And that will conclude practice, and now we will go into qualifying here from the Sonoma Raceway. So we'll just have to see who takes the pole here. See if we can find somebody. Here we go. Ashley Molyneux, last week's winner at Auto Club. Definitely a wild race that we saw last week at the Auto Club Speedway. That race was 120 laps, and definitely was a fun race to watch. Ashley ended up taking home the win that night. We'll see what she can do here tonight. She said before she really is starting to like these road courses. She's become pretty good at them. So we'll see if she can live up to that tonight. And there goes Aaron Smith putting in, getting ready to put in his time. 2 laps these drivers will have. Qualifying will last 10 minutes. Yeah, and road courses in the ARCA cars are pretty different when you compare it to, say, the road courses in the Cup cars. It can definitely be a big transition with how these cars handle. So, running the ARCA cars at Sonoma is different from running the Cup cars at Sonoma. It's just, it's all about the handling of the car, the braking, and just, the throttle input. So definitely you have to keep an eye out for how these drivers manage their throttle and braking through the corners. There goes Ashley beginning her first lap. You see Aaron Smith there coming out of turn at number 2. Tell you what, this is a fun track to drive if you know how to do it right. If you're not good at this track, it can definitely be frustrating, but if you are good, it can be a lot of fun to drive. And the same can be said for pretty much any road course. Road courses are a lot of fun if you know what you're doing. But there are few drivers that know what they're doing on road courses. I'm not one of them. Hey, Mike Ashmore, no problem. Thank you for tuning in. Looks like we have currently 10 people watching the stream. Thank you all so much for tuning into the race here tonight. And here comes Aaron coming to the final turn, the slowest turn of the racetrack. Good corner there. And we'll see what this time can be. Ashley runs a 1:39.08. Aaron will put in a 1:39.06. So just a little bit faster than Ashley. Ashley's going to try to make that time up on her second lap though. Let's ride on board with Ashley. She makes her way around this racetrack. And you know, another thing that you really need to manage at these road courses is when you shift. Because you know, in a lot of corners, you're going to have to shift down to third, sometimes first gear, which, you know, sounds easy to some people, but it's actually pretty tough. And if you do it wrong, you're either going to spin out or go off the track, or hey, you could even money shift and blow your engine. All of those are possibilities. Alright, we'll see if this lap can be any better for Ashley. Aaron, pretty sure just finished his second lap. We'll see if Ashley has made that time up. And isn't quite able to do it. That last lap was a 1:39.7. So as of now, Aaron Smith is on the pole. A little bit of trouble for Cole Freilich there. And here's Howie Briss coming to complete his second lap. We'll see if this takes him up. And that'll put him up to P6 with a 1:40.6. There's the Aaron going out. Continuing to run a little bit. Have about 4 minutes to go here. And there's James Colaboli. I believe, yeah, coming to put in his first time. And this lap will be a 1:46.6. Let's see if we can find somebody else. Here we go. Tony Hilbrand's currently P6 on the board with a 1:40.6. We'll see if his second lap can put him any higher on the board. Tony Hilbrand's one of the guys who has put up good performances throughout the season so far. Just hasn't quite been able to really capitalize and put that car in victory lane. See if he can make that happen tonight as he drives it hard. Oh, he may have gotten an off track there. If he did, then this lap won't count. Steady corner there through the final turn. And we'll see if this takes him up. It does, up to P4 with a 1:40.2. And we see James Colaboli, I think, putting in his second time. Yes, but does not take him up anymore in position, but it is a faster lap, a 1:45.5 for that number 12 machine. And I think that might be it for the guys that qualify here tonight. let's see if we can find anybody else here. James is still running out there a little bit. About 1 minute to go here in qualifying, and then we will head to the main event here tonight. Like I said, you know, some of the guys you're going to want to watch out for are Aaron Smith, Ashley Molyneux, James Miller, Quentin Warman. You know, definitely gonna, you know, watch for them to be some of the fastest drivers here tonight. So about 20 seconds to go here, and then we'll head to the grid, and then 62 laps, which is a long way here, but we will we'll get through it and have some fun doing it. Alright, here we go, qualifying wrapping up here. That is the 10-minute mark. And that will conclude qualifying here. And now we head to the starting grid here tonight for this race at Sonoma. There it is on your screen. Aaron Smith takes the pole over Ashley Molyneux, who starts second. James Miller starting third. To his outside will be Tony Hilbrands in fourth. Rounding out the top five will be Quentin Warman in fifth. Isaiah McLean qualifies sixth. Howie Briss seventh. And Cole Freilich in eighth. Nicholas Lavelle, a guy that we've talked about a good bit this season, looking to put it in victory lane for the first time tonight, starting ninth. And Spencer Ray will round out the top 10. Thomas Sewell qualifies 11th. James Mahone in 12th. Then 13th, we have James Colabali, the final driver to qualify tonight. 14th will be Thomas Lloyd. 15th is Tom Mercier. 16th, Michael Ashmore. Starting 17th is Scott Shire. Starting 18th will be Michael Keithley. Alex Anderson is going to start 17th, and Daniel Mosteller rounds out the top 20. Then we have Colby Kersey starting 22nd, and Sam Rice will round out the Colby Kersey starting 21st, I'm sorry, and Sam Rice will round out the 22 driver field here tonight from the virtual Sonoma Raceway. And with that, we will head to the grid here tonight. They will have one pace lap, and then we will go green. Definitely going to be an interesting race here tonight, folks. We'll see how these drivers manage to start. It can be kind of a tough start here with that little curve there just before the start-finish line, but they should be able to manage it fairly well. We'll just have to see. Alright, got a little bit of a ways to go here just before that green flag waves for Aaron Smith, and we'll see if he can continue his domination on the road courses tonight, or will guys like Ashley Molyneux, Tony Hilbrands, James Miller, Quentin Warman, will they put up a good fight here? We're gonna find out here and see what happens. Heading through the S's, that pace truck I should say. Virtual driver doing a good job managing his way through the S's. And here they come to the green flag here tonight. 62 laps from the virtual Sonoma Raceway. And there goes the pace truck off and on to pit road. Coming to the green flag. Aaron Smith on pole. The green flag is out. We are racing here at Sonoma. For the first time through the S's, we saw a little further back there, Quentin Warman had a little bit of trouble. Got a little bit squirrely there. He's going to keep it straight and hang on there in the 8th position. Back up here, Aaron Smith starting to pull away a little bit from Ashley Molyneux. As they make their way into the final turn of the track. The slowest turn, like I was saying, of this racetrack for the first time. Coming to complete lap number 1. Oh, we got one spin. I was just going to say they did it with no problems. But we do have one spin, and that's Isaiah McLean, and Quentin Warman is collected in that. Oh, man. All right, let's go to the replay and see if we can figure out how this happened. Two guys, and, you know, it's a road course, so there's not going to be any yellow flags unless there is a big pileup, in which case the one of the admins will throw a full course caution. But in situations like this, it's just going to be an admin caution. So let's see what happened here. You can see Quentin already trying to take a little more of an aggressive entry into the corner, and he just drives it in a little too hard, gets into the back of Isaiah McLean, spins him around, and there's nowhere for him to go. Spencer Ray having to go to the outside. Same for Nicholas Lavelle. Both of these guys trying to miss it. Quentin hits Isaiah once again, and that forces him right into the barrier. Not a good start to the race for either of these guys. That's going to force them to the back, and they're going to lose a lot of time for that incident. I was just about to say when that happened, got through the first lap clean, but that is a tough turn of the track. You know, it's common that stuff like that happens in that part of the racetrack. But we will continue on. About 5 tenths now actually is the gap between Ashley Molyneux and Aaron Smith. Ashley trying to close in to get the lead early. She has a good corner there. As they come to begin lap number 3. See, should be easy. 2 laps down, 60 left. Should be fairly simple. Tell you one thing, I don't know about you, but it's a lot of fun watching these cars go around a road course. It's just something about, you know, how smooth they're able to drive it. It's just a lot of fun to watch, especially watching drivers as good as Aaron and Ashley running around this track, and James. They've actually started to pull away a little bit from 4th on back. Aaron so far doing a good job holding on to his lead. Ashley's still trying to close in though, about 7 tenths of a second. She's able to close through the corners, and then Aaron pulls away again on the straights. once again into this high speed to, ooh, I think that was either James or Ashley that hit the cone there. Actually, let's go a little further back. Isaiah McLean currently in the 11th position. Trying to rally back up. Does have some front end damage there from that contact. Trying to rally his way back up. Quentin Woman back there in 15th as well. He's got a little bit of front end damage, but doesn't appear to be too rough. And you can see his hood is bumped up a little bit. Howie Briss here trying to close in on Cole Freilich to get inside the top 5. Cole got about a 9/10 of a second gap. Meanwhile, Tony Hilbrandt's further ahead of him, is trying to see if he can't close in on top 3, who have pulled away by about 3 seconds and are knocking those cones out of the way at the entrance of pit road. And Aaron is starting to pull away by about a 1.5 seconds over Ashley. Meanwhile, James trying to see if he can't battle with Ashley to get into that 2nd position. They actually have, oh, hang on a second. Looks like Sam Rice might have had some trouble. Oh yeah, he's out into the dirt. Let's take a look and see if we can figure out what happened to him. Looks like he may have just lost it a little bit. Yeah, he just kind of back in, stepped out from under him, and he slides off into the dirt. Doesn't go for a complete spin or hits the wall, so he should be okay. He's going to keep on going. Actually, as we're talking about that, looks like might have been some trouble for Michael Ashmore, maybe? Let's see if we can figure out what happened to him. Oh yeah, he did have a little bit of trouble, it looks like. He already has some damage to his car. Oh yeah, you can see he just kind of loses it there out of the 2nd turn, but he will keep on going. Just drivers kind of throughout the field having some trouble, having to, kind of struggling to hang on to their cars. But, that's just, that's how it goes sometimes at these road course races. But really not sometimes, it's more like all the time that you see, drivers just kind of losing it and spinning. Meanwhile, Aaron Smith has extended his gap to just over a second between Ashley Molyneux and James Miller. Tell you what, I'd say Aaron's pretty much got that car dialed in, and he is definitely running strong here. Meanwhile, the gap pretty much staying the same between Ashley Molyneux and James Miller for the second position, and then just behind them, Tony Hilbrands continues to try to close in. Let's look back through here. Spencer Ray started 10th, and he is up to the 7th position, getting by Nicholas Lavelle. And actually, let's see, you can see Quentin Warman has moved back up into the 13th position. Now working on Michael Keithley to get into 12th. Quentin's trying to work his way back up after that spin. Keithley's just going to pull over and let him on by. He knows Quentin is faster. And Isaiah McLean has actually worked his way back up inside the top 10. He got by Tom Mercier. Oh, actually, I'm seeing there might be some trouble here. Daniel Mosteller is slow, and he was off in the dirt. Let's see what happened to Daniel. Oh yeah, might have been some trouble here. Oh yeah, it looks like he just got into a little too much. Oh, almost clipped the 13. Gets a little sideways there into the turn. He's going to keep it straight though and keep on going, but he is going to lose some time for that. Oh, actually I'm seeing someone else might have crashed as well. Nicholas Lavelle, maybe? Seems to be maintaining pace fairly well. In the 8th position. Not entirely sure. Oh, we do have Alex Anderson in trouble though. Out of the final turn. Let's see what happened to him. Yeah, multiple guys just losing it out of these corners. Alright, let's see what happened to Alex. Yeah, he just kind of runs wide, gets into the gas a little too much, and sends it for a spin. Again, no damage to the car, which is good. Usually, you know, you're not going fast enough to really cause much damage to your car unless there are other cars coming that hit you. Aaron Smith now has about a 2.6 second gap over James Miller, who was able to pass Ashley Molyneux and get to the 2nd position. Seeing somebody else might be in trouble here. Michael Ashmore, maybe. Let's see if we can figure this out, see if anything happened to Michael. No, I think he may have just... Oh, no, something... Actually, no, I think he may have just pulled off and called it that. Quentin Warman still trying to gain on Tom Mercier to get inside the top 10. He actually gets a good run there. He's going to look to the inside, and he will be able to do it. And this will put Quentin back inside the top 10. Tell you what, they pulled away by about 7 seconds over Tony. continuing to extend his lead. Now the gap is about 3.3 seconds. Let's take a look here at trying to see. Alrighty, there we go. At Nicholas Lavelle here in the 8th position. You can see just behind him is the number 3 of Thomas Lloyd, trying to see if he can close in. About 0.8 of a second is the gap between those two. Oh, and actually, Thomas gets runs out wide just a little bit. It's a little sideways. He is able to hang on to it though. Oh, actually, I'm seeing there might be a little more trouble here. Colby Kersey went off the track. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to Colby. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see what happened. Looks like he just kind of gets a little out of shape here and goes through the dirt back across the track, and this is where he kind of cuts out. We're not able to see him. He gets it back going. Oh, might have been some trouble for Tony Hilbrance as well. Yeah, Tony. Oh man, he was running 4th and he's already fallen back to 7th. Alright, let's see how this happened. Oh yeah, I think it's just a case of ran a little too wide here out of the second turn. Oh yeah, just gets off, clips the dirt, and then sends him for a spin. Oh man, he was running in 4th, and this is gonna cause him to lose a lot of valuable time and put him back into the 7th position. See if he can get back up there. Is now Quentin Warman past Thomas Lloyd for the 9th position. He is slowly working his way back up there. Oh, and Thomas Lloyd goes for a little bit of a spin there. I think he just kind of lost it a little bit getting on the brakes there into the corner, and that sends him for a spin. That's going to force him back into the 11th position. Right behind him, Michael Keithley with some trouble. Let's try to look at that if we can. Yeah, looks like he just kind of lost it here coming out of the corner. Has to really lock up the brakes to keep from hitting the wall. And that's that. Oh, actually, I think there might have been some trouble with Daniel Mostiller. If we can find him here. Maybe. Not entirely sure. Oh. Just 1 second, sorry there. Having trouble all over the place, it appears. Colby Kersey once again off the racetrack. Let's try to figure out what happened to Colby here and see if we can't diagnose this. Um, oh yeah. Looks like this again just kind of lost it there on entry. Sends his car sideways, back up the track. Here he puts it in reverse to try to stay out of the way, and gets it back going. Got multiple guys here having trouble with their cars going off the track, and trying to keep up with them, trying to look and see how this happens. Oh, Sam Rice went off the track as well here. Once again, let's go to the replay and figure out how this happened. And yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Just loses it once again on entry. It's up on the hill a little bit. Continues to get it back going. Oh, Daniel Mosteller is once again off the track right in front of Aaron. Aaron's going to get by and maintain his lead here in lap 13 of 62. Oh, that cone actually got in Aaron's way. Oh, he's kind of misjudged the entry just a little bit. Got a little bit sideways, but he's going to keep it straight. And James Miller slowly closing in on Aaron, cutting the gap now down to about 2.1 seconds, 2.2. Making an attempt to close in. Oh man, Daniel Mosteller still looking to have trouble continuing to see where he's kind of going off the track and just not able to maintain the handling of that car. It's been really tough for him, and you can see the damage there on the front end. That is not at all what you want with your race car. And yeah, I mean the same can really be said for a lot of these guys. Just not particularly road courses aren't for everybody, and I think that kind of shows with some of these guys. They just can't quite figure it out, figure out the handling, the corners, and it definitely shows. Not to say any of the drivers are bad by any means, but it's just even the best drivers have trouble comprehending the handling of the race car at road courses. Meanwhile, James Miller ever so slightly cutting down his gap, now down to 1.9 seconds, as Aaron Smith coming up on Sam Rice. Sam just kind of pulls off the track to let him go. This is actually an opportunity for James Miller to close in a little bit. James Miller definitely showing speed here tonight. Starting to get into the long run portion of the race, and James is definitely Definitely doing a good job reeling Aaron in. Slowly but surely getting it done. Let's take a look here for the back bout. 11 seconds behind these guys. Ashley Molyneux just kind of started to fall off here on the long run and just hasn't quite been able to really get back up there, but we'll see what she can do, throughout the rest of this race. Only 15 laps in of 62, so she's got some time to see what she needs to do to get back up there. Sam Rice continuing to have trouble. Now Quentin Warman here, slowly gaining on Tony Hilbrandt and Nicholas Lavelle. This could turn into an interesting battle here in a couple of laps. Or actually, maybe this lap, if Nicholas is able to, or if Quentin is able to close in on Nicholas here. He's actually doing a good job doing that. Cutting the gap down. But, speaking of a battle that could get interesting in a few laps, James Miller, Aaron Smith actually was able to pull the gap again a little bit. But James, at the same time, he's not letting him get away too much. Oh, we may have some more trouble here. Yep, Colby Kersey once again off the racetrack. Continuing to have troubles hanging on to that car. Let's see what happened here. And you can see, yep, just not able to make it stick there on entry. Runs off the track a little bit. But is able to let the cars go and keep it going. Oh, and you can see there, taps the wall. Just continuing to struggle with the correct way of running the car. And I want to look back here at this battle. Quentin Warman still trying to close in on Nicholas Lavelle. Yeah, this will definitely turn into an interesting three-car battle for the 7th position between the 92 of Tony Hilbrandt, the 10 of Nicholas Lavelle, and the 7 of Quentin Warman. And Quentin up there getting to about half a second behind Nicholas Lavelle. Drives it in hard in that corner, and Quentin, I'll tell you what, again, he's done a good job getting up back at the front after that incident on lap 1. And he's made his way back inside the top 10, looking to get to 8th and then 7th from these guys. So he's definitely trying to make a charge here. And he's doing a good job of it. Oh, actually, there might be some more trouble for some of these guys. Sam Rice, maybe? No, it appears to definitely have some damage, but appears to still be running on the track. So I don't think anything happened to him. And actually, the gap now James Miller, the time that we've been away from these guys, he has really reeled Aaron Smith in. And now he is right there on the bumper. We'll see what he can do with Aaron. We're about to have a battle for the lead here. And James is doing a good job closing, about 0.4 of a second. He's going to try to use this corner to his advantage. He gets it right down, makes it stick very well there on the bottom. He's going to pull in behind Aaron, try to cross over a little bit, build up a run here as they head to turn 2. And he's going to put it to the inside. Aaron gives him room, and he makes it stick. Doesn't quite clear him yet. Yes, he does. New leader here at Sonoma, James Miller, was able to run Aaron Smith down, and he takes the lead 18 laps in of 62. Now the question is, can he hang on to it? Now let's check back to this battle here. Quentin Warman was able to get by Nicholas Lavelle. Now he's got his sights set on Tony Hilbrains, who's about 0.7 of a second ahead. Oh, we actually might have a little bit more trouble. Isaiah McLean off the track now. Let's try to see if we can figure out how this happened. I think maybe I think he may have just lost it. Oh yeah, back end steps out and sends his car for a spin. We actually have some more trouble, I believe, with looks like maybe Sam Rice and James Mahone. Let's see if these two are related. No, don't appear to be. Actually, oh yep, they are. Alright, let's see what happened between Sam Rice and James Mahone. See, Sam's up behind him. James is letting him go. Oh. Oh yeah, that definitely doesn't look too good. Let's try to maybe get another view of that. Actually, no, we'll go into slow motion and look at that again. So you can see James is letting him go on the outside, and Sam just turns right down the track into him. Actually, I think let's go on the cockpit view of Sam and see if we can get our answer here. This might help the situation. Yeah, Sam just turns into him. Not really sure what that was about, but I'm not sure if something happened prior to that. But I mean, if I'm the admins, that could potentially be a penalty for Sam, but we'll just have to see. As Aaron Smith heading to pit road, we have started our green flag pit cycle. 20 laps in now. So now we see Ashley Molyneux has moved up to second, and Aaron Smith has exited pit road now in the 4th position. About 32 seconds-ish behind James Miller. We'll see when James heads to pit road. First, he's got to deal with some of this lap traffic here. Oh. Actually, I think we have some trouble here with Spencer Ray, it looks like. And I think Cole Freilich might have been a part of this too. Let's go to the replay and check this out. Yeah, it appears there may have been some contact between these two. You can see there goes Spencer to the outside of Cole. Cole slows down and then, oh yeah, he loses it, makes contact with Cole, and Cole goes for a spin as well. They both have to really gather it up and get it back going. They both lose ground, but doesn't appear to be too much damage to either car, which is good. So now we see how long James Miller is able to stay out here. Because Aaron, I think, has tried a little bit of a short pitting strategy. See if it works out for him. He's about 27 seconds behind. So when James pits, Aaron might be able to jump him on pit road and take the lead. James is still staying out though, hitting those cones. And here comes Aaron right up to, getting close to the back bumper of Howie Briss. Gets a good run there through turn 2 and on the exit as well. Right up alongside Howie. Not quite able to complete the pass just yet. Howie runs a little bit wide there. He gets a good run there to the right side and is able to clear him back up to 3rd. Meanwhile, James heading through the S's, still waiting to see when he pits. At this rate, Aaron will be able to get by him when he pits. He may be coming in this time. Nope. Still staying out. We have a few other guys heading to pit road. Michael Ashmore, Tom Mercier heading into the pits as well. And Quentin Warman has actually moved his way back up to the 6th position. There goes Nicholas Lavelle to pit road. James Miller now has about a 23-second lead over Aaron Smith. But the longer that James stays out, the fresher his tires are going to be compared to Aaron's. You know, Aaron was, I believe, the first driver to pit, so, and I believe that was about 4 or 5 laps ago, which that can do a lot to the tires at a track like this. Man, James still staying out here with other guys coming to pit road. But the top 5-ish drivers have yet to pit. A lot of them are, still staying out with James. Well, we actually might have a little more trouble here, potentially with Daniel Mosteller. Let's see if we can figure out if something actually did happen to Daniel here. Oh yeah, I guess just couldn't turn on entry. So he runs off track, but he does get it back going. So Quentin Warman now in the pits. James Miller still staying out. Now here comes Aaron Smith closing in on Ashley Molino. Ashley runs a little bit wide there. Tom Mercier going to get by. James still staying out here, coming to complete lap 25. So Aaron moves into the second position. Now about 20.3 seconds behind James Miller, quickly closing in as well. Let's see if we can find somebody else here. Quentin Warman has left the pits in the 9th position. Next car ahead is Nicholas Lavelle, 5.1 seconds ahead of Quentin. And we'll see if James heads to the pits this time. This time by will be 26 laps on these tires and on the fuel. Let's see, and he still has yet to come into the pits. I'll tell you what, I mean, he's, like we've said, he's been one of these guys that we've talked about a lot this season. Has yet to put that car in victory lane. We've just been anxiously waiting for him to be able to do it. I mean, he is definitely showing winning pace tonight. Not saying he's going to get it, and I don't want to jinx him. I'm just saying he is showing winning pace tonight. So tonight could be the night, but we'll just have to find out here. Got about 35 laps left. Take a look here. Tom Mercier and Aaron Smith coming up to Scott Shire. Aaron Smith looking to put Scott a lap down. Tom looking to pass Scott to get back inside the top 10. Actually, no, Scott is already a lap down. I forgot Aaron wasn't the leader, sir. But he's going to let Aaron by. See if he's as nice to Tom. Ooh, and Tom actually able to get a good run there. Through the corner and goes around the outside and easily gets by to get back inside the top 10. James Miller still staying out here with about an 18-second lead over Aaron Smith. And there appears to still be trouble. Yep, Daniel Mosteller goes for a spin once again here. He has really struggled tonight. Let's go see how this was caused. I believe, yeah, looks like he just kind of clipped the dirt and lost it once again. Spins the car around. Barely keeps it from hitting the wall. And goes on his way. But yeah, not the night that Daniel Mosteller has wanted. He has been struggling a good bit. And he gets passed again by James Miller. Tell you what, I don't know when James is gonna pit. He might be trying to cut this race in half and make it a one-stopper. If he can go until about lap 31, 32-ish, then he should be able to do that. Only make it a one-stopper. It's probably what a lot of these drivers up here are planning on doing. Except for Aaron Smith, he will have to pit again. So let's take a look here. Gap now about 15.7 seconds. Aaron with the fresher tires is continuing to cut that gap down. Quentin Warman gaining on Nicholas Lavelle here. And Tony Hilbrands and Cole Frelick. They're actually in a little pack here for the 6th position. See what happened here to James Mahone. Looked like he had some trouble here on the front stretch. Now these guys are going to catch up to him. Ooh, a little bit of a squabble for Tony Hilbrands. A little bit loose. He's going to hang on to it. And yeah, James Mahone is going to let these guys go. When Warman driving it hard down to the inside. Oh man, thought he was going to turn Nicholas for a second there. He drove it really hard into the corner, got a little sideways. He's going to hang on to it. That's wasn't quite able to make that work. Let's go back up here. James Miller still not heading to the pits. So now Quentin Warmer is going to have to get back to the bumper of Nicholas Lavelle. Try to see if he can make that move again. Or not necessarily that move in particular, but try to get past him. And there continues to be trouble for James Mahone. He has gone off the track once again. Let's see how it happened this time. Let's see. I think he just kind of, yeah, back end just stepped out once again. Got a little too far out in the dirt, and oof, keeps it from hitting the wall. Luckily. "30 laps in. See if James Miller heads to pit road this time." Let's go back over here. Quentin Warman was able to get by Tony Hilbrands and Nicholas Lavelle. And now he is back up to 6th, trying to do work on Cole Fralick, trying to close back in on him for 5th. And now finally, James Miller heads to pit road. I think that's what he's doing. He's cutting the race in half. Aaron Smith, of course, going to stay out to take the lead. See how big of a lead he can get here. Oh, you see Daniel Mosteller loses it there out of the corner and goes for a spin. And this is the halfway point. 31 laps down, 31 to go. You see guys continuously not doing too well here. I think I've heard something here. I'm not really sure. Just a lot of guys having trouble. So now Aaron Smith back in the lead. Ashley Molyneux in 2nd, and James Miller about 20 seconds behind Aaron Smith. He's gonna have to cut that gap down once again. But good news for him is he should be good to the end on fuel and tires. Aaron Smith is going to have to pit again. So James Miller shouldn't have to worry about that. He just got to try to close back in on Ashley. Oh, Tom Mercier going off the track here. Oh yeah, Tom. It's not sure why it's saying he crashed. But, oh, actually, it appears that we have Sean Williams Um, he may have just, I believe Sean just connected to the race actually. So now there goes Ashley Molyneux, headed to the pits. About 30 to go. That'll put James Miller back up to second, 18.5 seconds behind Aaron Smith. So yeah, Sean Williams now enters the race. I guess he was late. But, hey, still going to participate. That's what you like to see. And man, Daniel Mosteller, it just is not going his way tonight. He goes for another spin. He just can't seem to figure it out. Get the handling of his car down. Oh, actually, he might have been a little bit more trouble here. Michael Ashmore, possibly. See if something did happen. Yeah, it looks like he may have lost a little bit of grip there. Oh yeah, just couldn't quite find the turn. This is the corner a little bit, but gets back going. Now there goes Howie Briss to pit road. And James Miller continuing to try to cut the gap down, 16.2 seconds. Yeah, it's really don't know if the strategy is going to work out for Aaron. It's helping him, stay in the lead for right now with a good gap, but he will have to pit again, and when that happens, he will have to he will lose the lead. So likely not quite going to work out for him as far as winning the race goes, but top 3 definitely a good possibility for Aaron. Tell you what, just past halfway here, about 28 laps to go. Let's have a little bit of a crank it up, shall we? This time by will be 26 laps to go here from the virtual Sonoma Raceway. Aaron Smith still hanging on to the lead, but James Miller has been able to cut it down to about 12.7 seconds. I'll tell you what, James Miller definitely looking strong here tonight. I definitely think if he plays his cards right, excuse me, I can't talk. If he plays his cards right, and continues to run the race like he is, definitely think he's gonna have a great shot to take the checkered flag tonight. But still got 26 laps to go, which is a pretty long way at this racetrack. So we'll see what happens. Aaron coming up on lap car of Cole Freilich, who went to the pits recently, is now going to go one lap down. And look at Quentin Warman, man. I mean, he just got by Howie Briss. Actually, it's a little bit of a mistake there, how he's going to take advantage of that and get back by. But running inside the top 5 after that first lap incident, a great job rallying back up for Quentin Warman. This guy's still looking strong. And he's definitely done a great job throughout the race getting back up here inside the top 5. And Ashley Molyneux has pretty much stayed in third throughout the whole race, or most of the race. She just hasn't been able to find the speed to get back up to James and Aaron. But a podium finish would definitely be good for points, and a road course, a podium finish definitely really good. So definitely a finish that she would be proud of, I think. Now the gap 10.5 seconds between Aaron Smith and James Miller. Yeah, and for those of you that have wondered what difference fresh tires can make, that's the difference, is how quickly he's been able to close in. And now here we go. Aaron Smith heading to pit road for the final time here, having to make it 2 pit stops in this race. Definitely didn't want to make it 2, but he's gonna have to. And this is where he will lose the lead. 24 laps remain. James Miller takes the lead back. And Ashley Molyneux, Aaron might be able to hang on to second actually, but Ashley will be able to close in. Just not enough. And yep, there he goes exiting. So now James Miller will have a strong lead. Aaron will be on fresher tires, but I think the gap would be too big to cut down. We'll just have to see, though. Not exactly sure how much fresher the tires would be, but we'll see how much he's able to cut the gap down. I believe Nicholas Lavelle actually had a little bit of trouble. May have gone off track just a little bit, but he is steadily running in P7. Quentin Warman trying to close back in on Howie Briss to get up to 4th. speaking of Howie Briss, he has done a good job steadily running inside the top 10 throughout the race, and now he's running in 4th. This would definitely be a strong performance for him if he can keep it. Oh, and we do have some trouble. Nicholas Lavelle, he goes off the track. Let's go see if this is a self-spin or see if he had any help. Appears to have been a self-spin. Yeah, back end just stepped out on entry of the corner and sends that car around. That's just going to be more time lost for Nicholas. That's going to force him back to 8th. He did only lose 1 spot, but yeah, that's 1 spot further back from where he wants to be, I'm sure. Quentin hasn't quite been able to get back to Howie Briss. 1.7 seconds back now. Tell you what, he is still trying. But Howie's still pulling away. So I'm not saying it's an impossibility, but I mean 18 seconds between James Miller and Aaron Smith. 22 to go. Aaron is closing the gap pretty well though with those fresher tires. Question is it fast enough to catch James and pass him in 22 laps? I'm not counting Aaron out just yet with how good he is on road courses and the difference that fresh tires can make. It's a long shot, but I'm not gonna count Aaron out just yet. If he can keep this pace up, he might have a chance. That's a big might, but he might. And Aaron actually ran, I believe, the fastest lap of the race. Yes, he did. That last lap, a 1:39.5. Good lap by Aaron. Currently fastest lap of the race so far. So this is something I always like to look at when I see, drivers trying to gain for the lead during races. We're gonna see what the gap is this time by, and we'll compare it to the gap it is the time after. Alright, so here comes James by the start-finish line, and the gap that time, 14.7 seconds at the start-finish line. So let's remember that, 14.7 seconds at time by with 21 laps to go. So we'll see what it is next time by when James comes across the start-finish line. I mean, Aaron has already gained 4/10 just then. I think Aaron might make it a second gained, if not more, from this lap. I don't know, man. I think James is really hoping for Aaron's tires to really start wearing here, so that the gap can decrease a little slower. is just continuing to cut it down. 12.8 seconds. Alright. James is coming around. Coming around to 20 laps to go. So the gap last time was 14.7 seconds. And this time the gap is 12.5. Aaron gained 2.2 seconds that last lap. 2 seconds gained. And it's 20 to go. I think if he can keep that up, Aaron's gonna catch James. It's just I think now it's just a matter of when and where. And I think James is starting to get a little worried now, but he's gonna maintain focus and he's gonna try to do what he can to keep his pace up to try to win this race. See, like now it's already 11 seconds flat. I mean, he is really closing in a lot here. So if I had to guess, if Aaron keeps gaining, say, 2 seconds a lap, then he'll probably catch James with roughly 13 to go. Just depends on if that, if the rate that he gains is, decreases or increases. Let's see here, 10.8. And yep, Aaron gained about another 2 seconds there, just under 2 seconds was gained that last lap. Meanwhile, you can see here Quentin, gap between him and Howie's about 2.9 seconds. Trying to see what he can do to close in on that number 97 machine, while James Miller doing what he can to try to slow the rate of time gained between him and Aaron Smith. Now the gap's down to about 10.1 seconds. Now 10 flat. I doubted Aaron. I really did. But I tell you what, it could work for him. That strategy. A strategy that I doubted. It could work. So Aaron just entered the S's. James just exited the S's. He's got Tony Hilbrands right behind him. 18 laps to go. .6 seconds, cutting it down to 9.5. It's just continuously closing at a fairly quick rate. Tony Hilbrands just went a lap down, but he is running in the 8th position now. Cole Freilich gonna get lapped here. Let's talk about Scott Shire. He started 17th, and he is now running inside the top 10. This will be a good run for him if he can get a top 10 finish here tonight. Now, I mean, the main focus is going to be on the leaders. 9 seconds. Coming to 17 laps to go. I bet you James was wishing it was 1 to go. Actually, the gap did increase there a little bit. There still is a chance for James to hold Aaron off. Aaron's tires, about now should be, really kicking in and starting to wear. Oh, and right ahead of James. Oh, man. He's able to miss it, but right ahead of him. Daniel Mosteller went for a spin. Let's see. There was a really packed in right there. Let's see what caused that. Let's see. No, Daniel Mosteller was one of the guys involved, and it looks like he just lost it right ahead of Cole. They both had to swerve to miss him. James Miller almost got into him. That was a little too close for comfort there. And now the gap's down to 7.9 seconds between Aaron and James, but I mean it's kind of starting to fluctuate now. I mean it's going down, then it's increasing. It's the rate of the time that Aaron is gaining is definitely starting to decrease. He is still gaining, just not as quickly as he was. Now he's gonna have to. Oh, it's blocked a little bit there by Daniel. This is what James wanted, though. He wanted it to. He wanted that rate to slow down. It certainly is. In fact, he is starting to pull away again in some spots of the track. Isaiah McLean kind of getting a little squirrely, having to pull off ahead of him. Aaron Smith trying to find that speed again, trying to get it back and catch James. Yeah, it's really just kind of, it's the same now, about the same now as it was a lap ago, so it could, definitely looking stronger now for James. I believe we have some trouble with, maybe Michael Ashmore, I'm not really sure. This time by 15 laps to go for James Miller. And I think Aaron might have really worn down his tires with that time that he was gaining. And I think it's kind of starting to wear off now, and the rate of time is definitely slowing down. He is still closing in, just not nearly as fast as he was before. actually, Quentin Warman has gone back down pit road. It's a little odd. I thought that he would be able to make it to the end with where he pitted. Oh, actually, Aaron Smith. Oh! Aaron Smith and Isaiah McLean had some trouble here. That could be it for Aaron. Let's take a look and see what caused this. Looks like Isaiah may have already spun in front of Aaron. Yeah, you can see he spins ahead of him, and Aaron, oh, nowhere to go. He slams into him. And that gives damage to Aaron's car and causes him to lose a lot of time. And I think that's going to be it for Aaron, potentially. Yeah, 8.7 seconds. I think that might be it for him. He's got a little bit of damage there on the front. Actually, closed in fairly quickly there. 7.3 seconds. Huh. I think James is getting kind of stuck here behind Tony. Tony's kind of slowing him down a bit. That's allowing Aaron to actually close in fairly quickly. That's my guess as to what's causing this. As you can see, the gap just a second ago was 9 seconds because of that contact that Aaron made with Isaiah. About 6.5 seconds now. So we'll see if James just kind of lets Tony go, or because Tony is kind of battling him a little bit. Actually might have some trouble here with oh yeah, some guys, Scott Shire and James Colabali. I was just gonna go and look at them. They had some trouble. Let's go to the replay and see how this happened. Not too sure what caused this. Entering final turn of the racetrack. This is right ahead of Quentin Warman, actually. And Scott may have just lost it on entry. Oh yeah, you can already see there the back end's kind of stepping out. Oh yeah, and then there he goes. Car spins around, and there's nowhere for James to go because he's got Quentin on his inside. Quentin's able to get by, and James tries to stop, and he actually does. But they make some contact trying to get back going. This is right ahead of some of these guys. So now the gap is actually closing again, 5.7 seconds. But James was able to get by Tony, so I think that's kind of what was holding James up. So he should be able to start driving away again, if I had to guess. 13 laps to go, 12 this time by. Back in, steps out there on the entrance of the turn. That's never what you want to see. You want to have as much grip as you can through these turns, and James Miller still having to navigate his way around these slower cars. 12 laps remain. .8 seconds. I think unless James gets held up again, or unless something happens, I think that's about where it's going to get. Warman actually has fallen back to the 6th position. Now Spencer Ray takes over 5th. Tony Hilbrandt's back here in 7th, and Nicholas Lavelle 8th. And the rest of the field is a lap down. James Colaboli in 9th and Scott Shire in 10th. Well, I think there might be more trouble for Daniel Mostelli. Yep, he goes off the track once again. Let's see, I think he's just still having trouble with the handling of his car. I think that's what happened. Yep, just doesn't have as much grip, gets off into the dirt, and car shoots around on him. It's back live, 5.8 seconds, and again is the gap here with 11 to go between James Miller and Aaron Smith. This is what James wanting to see. This is what James is wanting to see. Just, gap just staying steady. And he's trying to keep it that way so he can hang on here. This time by will be 10 laps to go for that number 60, James Miller. James is one of these guys that, like I was saying, we've talked about him a lot this season, and he's been up there throughout these races. Just he's been one of the guys that we've anticipated talking to from victory lane. Just hasn't been able to put that car in victory lane yet this season, but he's in position for it now. Got a good lead. He is just 10 laps away from it. And further behind him, 6.3 seconds, Aaron Smith looking to continue his streak of road course wins. And then about 40 seconds behind these guys, you can see Ashley Molyneux still again, staying there steady in 3rd. And behind her we have Howie Briss in the 97. Good run for him after starting 7th. He is currently in 4th. Quentin Warman, after that first lap contact, has been able to make his way back up to where he started, back inside the top 5 in 5th. Spencer Ray here, after starting 10th, has made his way up into 6th. Tony Hilbrandt's in 7th here. Nicholas Lavelle running steadily in 8th. James Colaboli, after starting 13th, a good run for him so far, inside the top 10 in 9th. And Scott Shire, after starting 17th, he will round out the top 10 as of right now in the 10th position. 6 seconds now, about 6.1 between 1st and 2nd. 9 laps left. Yeah, I think, like I was saying, I think Aaron's just kind of lost that speed that he was having. But a second place performance will definitely grant him some good points from this race. Definitely going to help him in points. Same can be said for a lot of these guys like Ashley, Howie, Quentin. Now, these are valuable points that they are getting that will benefit them throughout the rest of the season. Eight laps remaining. And let's take a look here at, let's see. Yeah, Sean Williams, he has brought it into the pits. He did run some laps. Yeah, he started the race, I'll give him that. Ooh, actually might be a little more trouble here for Michael Ashmore. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to him. I think he may have just gone off the track a little bit. Yeah, kind of has to stop the car and get it sorted out. Gets it back going, Alex Anderson. Be some trouble for him. Appears to have some decent amount of damage to that car. Yeah, and James Miller is actually... Oh, hang on a second. Tony Hilbrain's with trouble. He's spun here. Let's see if this was a self-spin or see if he had some help. He may... Yeah. No, maybe not. Let's see. I think he was right behind Aaron Smith here. And yeah, just kind of loses it there. Middle of the corner and has to spin it back around. Still remains in the 7th position with 7 laps to go. Continue to have guys just kind of struggling with the handling of their cars. Looks like Scott Shire might have gone off a little bit. Let's see if we can figure this out here. Howie Briss still, he's pretty much got nobody around him. He's 23 seconds behind Ashley, 14 seconds behind, or ahead of Quentin Warman. Now, James Miller coming up on Spencer Ray. Looking to put him a lap down. You know, we have a few guys. Michael Ashmore has brought it into the pits. Same for Sean Williams, Daniel Mosteller. Smith, about 8 seconds the gap. Still just staying about even at about 8 seconds, 7.9 now. Like I said, that's about where James wants to keep it. Well, not necessarily where he wants to keep it, just, wants to keep it even at a good distance, and I'd say that's an optimal distance right there. So this time by 5 laps remaining for James Miller. He has definitely been the fastest throughout the race, led the most laps. He just needs to lead 5 more. And it appears that we have a little more trouble here. Isaiah McLean has spun here coming out of final turn here. Let's take a look at how this happened. This was actually right ahead of Ashley Molyneux. And looks like a situation just gassing it up a little too much, loses it coming out of the corner, spins it down the track and keeps on going. James still coming up on Spencer Ray. Spencer actually runs wide there and is going to let James on excuse me, let James on by. 4 laps to go. I think Isaiah McLean might actually be in trouble again here. So he's having to kind of get it back up going. Oh, and actually some trouble for Alex Anderson. Let's see what happened to him. He has spun on the track, actually hits the wall a few times. See, just oh man, shoots right on him. Oh, and grabs the barrier, brings him around hard into the wall, multiple hits. And he's gonna try to turn it around and get it back going, try to finish with that damage if I had to guess. Three long laps for James Miller. Trying to bring home that elusive first victory of the season. And I tell you what, it would definitely be a deserving one at that. He has really fought hard throughout the season. In these first 7 races, been a threat to win pretty much all of them. Just hasn't been able to do it. His chances of doing it are looking pretty good here tonight. Definitely be good for the points as well if he can bring this home. now the gap is about 9.6 seconds. Ashley Molyneux about 50 seconds behind these guys. Quentin Warman, Howie Briss still steady running in 4th and 5th. Coming to 2 laps to go. Tell you what, let's ride along with James Miller throughout this lap as he comes to take the white flag. Not this time by, but the next. Let's ride along with him throughout this next lap. White flag waves for James Miller. 1 lap to go here from Sonoma. Can he hang on just one more lap? Gap is about 11.5, 11.6 seconds between James and Aaron Smith. James has run a very, very strong race. Held on to the lead for most of it. And he is bringing it around, just about half a lap-ish to go. Got some smoke up here. I believe somebody has a blown engine, actually. Final time through the S's. I think as long as he can get through here safely, he should be okay. And here he comes, final time through the final corner, slowest corner of the racetrack. And he nails it. Oh, gets a little bit sideways, but it's okay. He has a good enough gap off the final corner. Checkered flag, and James Miller finally captures that elusive first win of the season tonight here at Sonoma. Great, great job for James. And coming off the final turn, Aaron Smith will bring home second here tonight. A strong run for Aaron. And further behind, Ashley Molyneux, pretty far behind, coming through the S's now. She will bring it home in third here tonight. But the man of the hour is that number 60 machine of James Miller, who, like I've said, we've talked about all season. Just been patiently waiting to get a word with him from Victory Lane. And we're going to be able to do that tonight. His first victory of the season comes at Sonoma Raceway. And here comes Ashley Molyneux. off the final turn. And a good finish for her. She will finish in third here tonight. And that will be your podium. That will be those will be your drivers that we will interview here tonight. Ashley Molyneux, Aaron Smith, and James Miller. But first, let's watch as James burns his car down. He's probably going to do it here around the front. And there he goes down to the bottom. He might be coming around to do it on the front stretch, coming to capture that checkered flag. And burn down here. There he goes. Very, very strong run for that number 60 machine. And he will burn it down for the first time this season. But now, it's time to get the drivers up here and get them in the booth to be interviewed. First will be the number 45 of Ashley Molyneux. Let's see if we can get her up here. Let's see here. Hey Ashley, it's Hayes up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, although I'm gonna have to stop and turn you up because you are a quiet, quiet man. Alright, I got audio.
Alright.
Fine now. How you doing, bud?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'd have been a bit better if I had either gotten the pole or was, within a minute of the lead. But other than that, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, so you bring home a strong finish here tonight. Finished on the podium, definitely going to help with the points as well. So we saw throughout the race that was really most of the time that was really where you were sitting was there in third. Just couldn't quite after the first 10-15 laps you just weren't quite able to keep up with James and Aaron. Just what kind of happened there, and what sparked that, I guess.
Well, it's kind of a long-standing issue with mine on road courses that I can generally match, like, over the course of 1 or 2 laps, the pace that they can run. However, there's something vastly different about what, like, Aaron's doing and what James is doing from what I'm doing. And the second I start losing front-end grip, it's just, I'm done. I just start dropping like a rock. At most tracks. Any track that's not, like, a really heavy braking track, I'm usually pretty much perfectly fine, right? Like tracks, what are some of the other ones? Mid-Ohio, I tend to do a lot better at. Coda, other than the 2 massive braking sections. Most of the track is just rhythmic on the gas. And Summit Point, I'm pretty good at as well for the same reason. But once the front end fades, I can't really do anything about that. And after a certain point in time, I just stopped pushing the car tonight and was just making sure I could defend third place and keep it incident free, which, hey, 0x means nothing, but it's cool.
Hey, that means something to me. A 0x at a road course, that's a perfect race for me. Like, for my standards, that would be a perfect race. So, next week we head to a track that actually we've seen you're pretty dang good at, Martinsville Speedway. So, what are your plans going to be heading into that race?
Qualify and pole and win the race. James is the threat. He is, actually, I don't know how Quentin is on short tracks now. It's been a while since I raced with him on them, but last time I raced with James at Martinsville, him and I we're about the same pace, let's put it that way.
Alright, definitely going to be interesting to watch. So, finally, you have any shout-outs, thank yous you want to give?
Yeah, thanks to you for broadcasting this. I'm definitely going to go back and watch it probably tomorrow because I have to... What time is it anyway? It feels like it's like 4 a.m. Oh, it's only 10? Ah, man, screw that. I'm going to go get some food and come back up and watch this. Thanks for Tony for putting this on. Thanks to everyone in here, too, for, showing up. I know road courses are a difficult thing, and a lot of people tend to skip them when they can, but we had an amazing turnout for this, and it's not like Sonoma is the easiest road course out there. And I'm gonna thank my mom too, because I'm just gonna do that every week. At least every week that I'm here. I can't run full time, so.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Ashley. You did a great job in this race, finished on podium. So we'll see you next week at Martinsville. Have a good night.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, and congrats to James for the win. By the way, I forgot to say that earlier. But you enjoy your night.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that was Ashley Molyneux, driver number 45, bringing it home in the third position tonight. Next up will be Aaron Smith, bringing it home in second. So let's go ahead and get him up here. Hey, Aaron, it's Hayes in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, man. So we saw, you had the lead early on in the race, and you eventually lost it there to James, and had that short pitting strategy, and it almost worked out. You were able to close in to about, I think it was about 6.5 seconds. Just couldn't quite get, or about 5.5 actually. Just wasn't quite able to completely catch him. But overall, how would you say the race went for you?
Went pretty well. I haven't really been that good at Sonoma lately, so to be able to finish second after all of that's pretty nice. But thought I had a shot at him when I gained that 13 seconds on him coming to the end. But once one of the lap cars spun out in the slowest part of the track and I T-boned him, there wasn't much I could do after that. All the momentum was lost, and I ended up falling back to about 11 or 12 seconds. But otherwise, it was a pretty good race.
Yeah, man. So, I need to know. I watched, throughout the race, we watched and saw, you were able to just kind of nail the corners pretty well, and you were able to really run strong. Meanwhile, we had some guys, just weren't quite able to figure it out. What's your secret at a track like this?
Well, in order to get fast in these kinds of tracks, you want to wreck very often in practice so you can tell where the limit is and just work from there. I never really pushed my front tires that hard during the race, but my back tires were pretty bad, so there's still some work to do.
All right, I got you. So, next week head to Sonoma. I mean, not Sonoma. Sorry, Martinsville. A short track. High braking points. So, what are your plans and expectations heading into that race?
I feel like there's going to be a lot of caution, so I'll certainly try to save my tires up a little bit, but I think I'll be a factor there. Maybe should finish in the top 5.
All right, that's what I like to hear. You have any shout outs or thank yous you want to give?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the folks at VRL for putting this show on, you for broadcasting, and everyone for watching. I'll see y'all next week or the week after, whenever.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your time and congratulations on this second place finish. We'll see you, like you said, next week or the week after, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, that was Aaron Smith bringing it home P2 here tonight. Next up will be your race winner. We are finally able to interview him as a winner for the first time this season. So let's get him on up here. And here we go. Your race winner here tonight, James Miller. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Alright, man. So I was telling the folks watching at home, you're finally able to interview this season as a race winner. We've seen you throughout the season put up really strong runs. You've been a factor in pretty much every race, and you finally get it done tonight. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels really good. Yeah, I just finally was able to actually put a good run in together. Sebring was probably my best shot earlier in the season, and I didn't have the best tire wear, and I sped on pit road, so that really didn't help it. So glad I could have some really good tire wear here and to nail the pit stop.
Yeah, you seem to nail that race pretty much perfectly. It seems you're able to get by Aaron there early on and take the lead. But, now next week it's time to focus on Martinsville, which Ashley told me that you were pretty good there. So what are your plans going to be heading into that race?
Yeah, it should be pretty good. I like road courses and short tracks. Seem to be the best for me, just with the braking and all that, and drive off pretty good. Tire saving there. I'd probably just try to stay up front and lead most as I can, stay out of the trouble, and if it happens, stay out of lap traffic, kind of like we did at Southern National. But yeah, I don't know. Had some rough luck throughout the races too, but always fought back. So expecting a good finish still.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, finally, do you have any shout outs or thank yous you want to give for this victory tonight?
Yeah, just thanks to Team AV for the bad fast race car.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your time, and congratulations on your first victory of the season. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Alrighty, that was James Miller, your race winner here tonight from the Sonoma Raceway. I tell you what, there was a lot of spread out racing, but it was also definitely fun to watch, and awesome to see James bring home that first victory of the season. And now finally, we will run through the race results here tonight. If I can get them up on the screen. I don't know why I've been having this issue. Just can't get them up on the screen for some reason. I'm still trying to figure that out. My apologies, but I'll just go ahead and read the results off for you guys. So James Miller takes home the victory here tonight, his first one of the season. Congratulations to him. Aaron Smith brings it home P2. Ashley Molyneux comes home in third. Howie Brisk, good performance for him, P4. And Quentin Warman brings home a top 5 in fifth. Spencer Ray, a good performance for him as well, finishes sixth. Tony Hilbrand 7th. Nicholas Lavelle 8th. James Colabully, definitely strong for him. After starting 13th, he will finish in 9th. And Scott Shire rounds out the top 10. After starting 18th, Michael Keithley will bring it home in 11th. Isaiah McLean just couldn't quite rally back up after that first lap incident. He will finish in 12th. Thomas Sewell will finish 13th. James Mahone 14th. Daniel Mosteller 15th. Alex Anderson 16th. Cole Freilich 17th. Tom Mercier brings it home 18th. Michael Ashmore 19th. Sean Williams, we saw he joined the race pretty late, but he manages to finish in 20th. Sam Rice finishes 21st. Thomas Lloyd 22nd. And rounding out the field in last will be Colby Kersey in 23rd. And that will do it tonight, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the broadcast. Be sure to stay tuned for next week, 1 week from tonight. This league will be back at it again at the Martinsville Speedway, 250 laps, and hopefully Jared will feel better and will be able to get back up here in the booth with me for next week. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for tuning in, deciding to watch us. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're only 14 subscribers away from 100. That is a milestone we are definitely looking to hit here soon. So yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your night, and we will see you in the next race.